when we're on the street, how come we don't talk out loud? Like, why are little things like that illegal? Like, speaking to yourself in the street. People will look at you weird if you're having a full-blown conversation. Sometimes, guys, I put the phone to my ear and I talk to myself. Because people think I'm on the phone. But really and truly, I'm having a conversation with myself. I lose laughing off camera.
Carry on.
But guys, you could walk through the street and be talking to yourself and people will think you're crazy, but do you know what it is? The crazy ones, I feel like, are the most successful people in life, because you don't care what other people think. You don't have an opinion on what anyone else thinks. So if you want to have that conversation with yourself down the street, do it.
You have permission.
You have permission. Don't think anybody else is going to judge you. Like, even wearing sandals on socks on the tube, things like that are illegal. But they're not. Like, no one actually cares. People will look at you weird for a second, but it doesn't really have any impact on how you're perceived, unless you're a celebrity and you're ending up on the shade room. Another thing, why don't we play music on the train?
I bet you saved this for another one, because that's good.
I'll save it to another one. But yeah, I'll end there, guys. If you feel like you want to do anything impulsive out on the street, just do it. Nobody cares. Nobody's thinking about you. They may look at you in the moment. They may comment to your friend. But I'm telling you, when they get home, they don't care. Do you?
No, you did that very weird though. I can't lie, that was very weird. No, your eyebrows got so high. No, your eyebrows actually got so high. Anyway, welcome to another episode of Daily Decisions. We're here with episode 4. Obviously, myself and Ria are in the building. We are at the fantastic Impact Hub, as we always are. Make sure you Google Impact Hub London if you are, for example, somebody who is an entrepreneur slash... I'm just going to shut that door.
A few moments later.
If you just saw a random cut there, it's because as I was speaking, the door just randomly opened in the room, and so that, no, don't say that, because they need to know the Impact Hub is a safe place if they're like aspiring entrepreneurs, current entrepreneurs, whatever. Yeah, true. But like, you know what I'm saying? Great co-working space in London. The Euston branch is actually opening in a few weeks. Do you get what I'm saying? But either way, that's where we are. Shout out Impact Hub London for the collaboration and for allowing us to use the beautiful space to film. So with that being said, first of all, let's talk about this new setup though. We saying moonlighting and that.
Yeah, guys, we've been, trial and erroring with our setup, just doing what feels good. But the thing that I'm proud of us for doing is that even though setup sometimes is a bit techie, we just managed to get it done. Because sometimes you can't make excuses. The setup will be how the setup will be. You just gotta
do what you can. Do what you can. That's it.
On, in the words of 7PK.
This episode is going to be interesting because we're filming this and I just got in the country this morning. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that I can sustain the energy for you lot today. Do you get what I'm saying? Ria, are you ready for Guess Who?
Ready.
This person had their bike stolen when they were approximately 12 years old and chose to take up boxing as a result of feeling bullied.
AJ.
Incorrect. This person used to purposely miss the bus on the way to school and chase the bus as a form of training.
Mike Tyson.
Incorrect. This person used to stand against a wall and have his friends throw eggs at him to try and dodge the eggs to work on his agility and response time.
This is? How do you even know? Like, you must be following this person's story deep, and I know you're gonna say someone, and I'm gonna know who it is as well. Let's say famous boxer. Are they a boxer? Can't even ask that, can I? Fury.
Incorrect. This person chose to enter the Olympics as a boxer. This is gonna give it away. Let me just give it to you. In 1960, and won gold.
Is it Muhammad Ali?
It is Muhammad Ali. Well done, Ria. It took her 4 clues, which means she gets...
1 point.
Is it 1 point or 2 points? Okay.
No, it's 2 points.
I think it is 2 points. Yeah, because 3 would be 3. Yeah, 2 points. She gets 2 points. So let's put that on the screen here. Let's talk about Muhammad Ali, because I feel like, don't get me wrong, he still gets heralded as a legend, but in this day and age of like boxing, and actually we're also in a day and age where people expect so much from like sports people in terms of being voices now and speaking up against social issues. He is the epitome of that. Like,
what? Speaking up against social
a
issues?
sports person with global icon status, who also saw his influence over people as an opportunity to shine a light on very important social issues and try and make the world a better place. Like, for example, choosing not to go to war, because as far as he's concerned, why am I going and blowing up and shooting people from Vietnam? And I don't know them. They're my brothers and sisters as far as I'm concerned. Even when he got his title taken away as a result of that, he was like, became a lecturer at universities and that in the meantime, or he was doing guest lectures, I should say. Not he became a lecturer, because that sounds like he then went down the route of becoming a professor, but he would do guest lectures at universities and that. He was a poet, he was, you know what I mean, in many ways I would argue a religious leader. He may not have had the status of such, may not have been a minister like Malcolm X or a lead minister like, you know, Elijah Muhammad, but he was very much a religious leader in his own right. Like, to think that we're now in a day and age where people are kind of like, oh, what are these sports people doing? Like, why are they not talking up? Like, he's been doing it.
No,
do you get what I'm saying?
I saw something the other day which is like, people are only famous, well, their fame carries on, their legacy carries on when they have a message. Like, for example, Nipsey Hussle, I know he's not in the sports industry, but you can be an athlete, but you can play sport, but if your message doesn't carry on, if you're not doing something for humanity, your legacy is going to live and die when you die.
100%.
Yeah.
And actually it's interesting because how do you protect your activism? And this is something I've been thinking about, and I'll probably talk about it more in the episode, but how do you protect your activism? Because, for example, as we've mentioned a couple of times, I've been in the States the last few days, and like, there is a Ben & Jerry's ice cream flavour called Change the World, but the world is spelled WHIRLLED, like world, and then turn that into...
Change the
like,
world.
Yeah, like world. Like, as in if you've whirled something. You've whirled, it's been whirled.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So it's called Change the World. And it's because it's a partnership between Colin Kaepernick and Ben & Jerry's. Now, don't get me wrong. Colin Kaepernick, for those that don't know, and obviously it's interesting because I think this is the first time really... Alright, cool. So for those that don't know, let me just quickly talk about Colin Kaepernick, and also I think this is helpful for Ria to know. So Colin Kaepernick, American footballer, apologies, can't remember which team he plays for. Something in my head says Carolina Panthers, but I feel like that might not be true. He might have been in conversations with a couple people to buy the Carolina Panthers, not playing for them, but I can't remember. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Long story short, during the time, well, even I think this predates long before 2020 actually, when everybody was obviously supporting the Black Lives Matter movement much more than we'd ever seen being done before. He, when the national anthem was being sung at the start of American football games, would take the knee. And the reason he'd take the knee is because he wanted to demonstrate that America is not a country at the moment that he feels is supportive of black lives, given the fact that we've got what some would argue is close to genocide happening through police brutality.
100%.
As far as he's concerned, like, why should I be heralded and holding up this country, regardless of whether it pays me X amount of money, regardless of whether it's seen as the land of opportunity, regardless of whether it's seen as quote unquote more civilized? Like, this is not civilized. Do you know what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah, he's very, very well known for his activism, and yeah, he's got a partnership with Ben & Jerry's, innit? And they got a flavour called Change the World, innit? Which he probably would have valid reason for doing and see it as making sense, but I can imagine it probably does beg the question of like, right, is capitalism that deep when it comes to activism? Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, who knows, boy? Who knows?
When you say capitalism that deep when it comes to activism, what do you mean?
You can't run from capitalism. Like, someone will always find a way to capitalize on the opportunity to make money and take market share, even though the message is supposed to be the message. Now, they might turn around and say, actually, that flavour of ice cream, all of the profits or a large percentage of the profits are going towards causes that he supports. So that's fair enough, but it's just a question, isn't it, of like, that's all well and good. I don't know much about Ben and Jerry's as a company. From what I understand, they do seem to, or at least I often hear about them doing things that are deemed as ethical, or at least making the kinds of alignments that are. But I don't know their ins and outs. As a company, are they ethical? Like start to finish, supply chain, value chain, all of that kind of stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? So
it's true, but I just feel like everybody's here to capitalize on something, whether it's for the benefit of society or even the destruction of society. You're always gonna find that.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. So let's get into the 3-word week. Ria, do you want to kick us off with your 3-word week?
I am. I'm just gonna find what.
A few moments later.
I need to remember them because I know sometimes you say them and then we can't try to come back to them later and I haven't thought. So go on.
Magical.
Ooh.
Progressive.
Ooh.
And emotional. Magical, progressive, and emotional. I have to remember that, guys.
Magical,
when I come back to them, I forget.
MP, I got you.
Magical. The reason I say magical is because now I'm gonna say progressive first, and I'll explain why. Progressive was because, as you guys know, we've spoken about sprint success before in our previous episodes. Sprint success, every Monday when I, get together with the young people, they're holding me accountable for a certain goal. Right now, that goal for me is to keep up my daily running, because some days, I'll be real, I slack in terms of going to the gym, because some days if I can't bother to get up in the morning, which is bad, I shouldn't say that, but sometimes it's true, I go at night time. But even after a long day of work or doing whatever, sometimes I fail to make it to the gym. So me going in the morning is so much easier for me to maintain. It's an achievable goal for me. And I spend minimum between 30 to 45 minutes running, and my time has been getting so much better. Even when I went on my run this morning, I realized I could do 2K without even stopping to take a breath now. So that's why it's been progressive for me. My running shoes, muddy as hell, but that makes me feel good. It makes me feel good knowing that you've come back from a muddy run, but you get in a shower, you're clean, and you're just feeling accomplished by the end of it. So
100%.
My progression of my time has gone from being able to do 4K in 45 minutes to now pushing up to 6K in 45 minutes. So
that's huge.
Yeah, so I'm really proud of myself for that. The reason I say it was magical is because every time I go on that run, I go to the same park, and in that park there's, I don't know what it is about that park, but there's just a selection of birds. Like these birds, I'm always seeing different types of birds. I think I saw a dove the other day. I'm always seeing magpies. Magpies are one of my favorite birds. They have a special meaning for my dad, because my dad's granddad passed away a couple of years ago. My dad found a magpie feather on his grave.
Wow.
But I went in and I was feeling a bit down that morning, and I felt like I needed to go for that run to clear my head or whatever. And I went there, and I thought to myself on the way to the park, I was like, God, I need a sign today. I need some sort of sign to show you, to tell me if I'm on the right path.
That's mad.
Guess how many magpies I saw?
How many?
Just guess.
I don't know if you believe in that whole thing, like 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl, 4 for a boy.
I do.
I don't know what you do after 5. one silver and one gold.
1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl, 4 for a boy, 5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for a story never to be told. It keeps going on after that, and I had to research it. But yeah, how many do you think I saw?
7.
I saw 14 magpies.
14?
In one go, like just all crowded around.
Mad.
And as I was running towards them, they weren't going anywhere, as birds do. Birds go away when you try to run towards them, but I was searching the internet to find what 14 means. There's no meaning for 14. I can't find it anywhere.
That's 2 stories never to be told then, isn't it? Like,
so,
you know what I'm saying?
So it's for me, it was a sign of big things coming, but also you're not always going to see the meaning in something straight away. It might take a little bit of time for you to interpret what the meaning of something spiritual or an emblem that you've seen in real life, basically.
100%.
So yeah, it was magical for me.
Emotional.
And the last one I said was emotional because I went on a podcast, not this podcast, a different podcast a couple of weeks ago, and someone very close to me ended up getting me, they sent me a postcard to my house which had a picture of my face on the back with obviously the podcast thumbnail.
Sick.
And some encouraging word, which was just like, to me, someone's recognizing what you're doing.
I love that.
Not a lot of people are going to recognize what you're doing, especially when it comes to early stages.
Yeah.
But the people that do support you for those things, you need to cherish those people, and you need to, recognize that people see things in you that you don't see in yourself.
100%.
So yeah, that just gave me a bit of a push and a boost. So yeah.
Magical, progressive, and emotional, and all for good reason. Do you get what I'm saying? I love the magical part. You know, like I'm so here for a synchronicity or something like that. The progressive, again, you know, I'm obsessed with continuous improvement, so that gets me excited. And then the emotional, obviously, we want to be able to appreciate those moments, but also sit with the emotions that come with them. So that's huge. Absolutely love that. Cool. So my 3 words. And I've managed to do 3 A's, which I know is a bit of like this guy loves like an alliteration or an acronym, but it actually made sense this week. So first A, active. Second A, analytical. Third A, aspiring. I repeat, active,
analytical,
aspiring. Yeah. So active, Friday. So obviously I will try and cover the whole 7 days if I can. Wednesday, amidst having my daughter, taking her play group, having to take her then down to, well, I didn't have to, but chose to take her down to South in order to be with my dad for a couple hours. Well, I then had to go to UCL to run the workshop that we were running, and then come back, sort her out for bed, get up the next day, Thursday, and what was I doing that day again? I had a session to facilitate for one of our clients, just with different colleagues across the team about some stuff. And then after that session, headed back to my dad's, had a meeting. After that meeting, squeezed in a haircut before we then had our weekly meeting. And then after that, it was like dinner, get her ready, come back home, pack, because the next morning I was then flying out with my daughter and my fiance to go to Atlanta. Because on the Saturday I had, I wouldn't call it a conference, but it was a meet up or a session for a program that I'm part of with Eric Thomas's company. So it was active because it's like all of that happening to then have to like pack. Only slept like 2 hours before getting on an aeroplane, flying 9.5 hours across the Atlantic Ocean, get to Atlanta, get to the hotel, quick shower. We head out to go to dinner with a couple people, back, sleep, up again the next morning, because before the meet-up, Eric Thomas, given that he's also a Christian pastor, was doing church. So church that morning, from church, go to get lunch, over to the meet-up. That takes you through to 8 p.m. their time, which obviously, if your body hasn't adjusted, is really 1 a.m. our time. So, you know what I mean? If you're not adjusted already, you're thinking to yourself, yo, this is all 1 a.m. and we're still in a session. And then, back to the hotel, sleep, next morning, up, brunch, went to then get like a smoothie bowl, whatever, and then had, then I just had like a nice little chill with one of the other people in the mastermind. We were kind of going through some stuff for like some of her intentions, some of my intentions. And then it was like flight to Boston, go to see Keshav and Ishani, who you know and who are also my close friends and my co-founders of my other business, Revolution Hive. They're over there because Ishani studied at Harvard doing a master's, now works at Harvard. Keshav is currently doing his master's. Do you get what I'm saying? So
a lot of people to see.
Listen, I'm telling you, but like, so it's just active as a result, you know what I mean? Then we're over there, brunch again, do you know what I'm saying? Walking around, doing tours of Harvard campus and this, that and the other, dinner, next day up, get to their house, go for a walk, all this kind of stuff. So then back in the country this morning, like literally 7 a.m. this morning, I landed. Didn't get home till like going up to 10, literally just in, shower up, unpack, go and get some shopping, because now you need shopping for your house, because obviously you've been out away, so you don't want to have just like fruits and that there rotting. So I made sure we finished all our fruits. So now I have to go shopping, get groceries, come back, and then get myself ready. Then we go and run a session earlier at another university, London School of Economics, before coming here to film this. So the last 7 days has just been active.
Very active.
Very active.
He didn't even take a breath between what you just said.
I know. And Ria told me up about this before we filmed as well.
No, but I want you guys, sorry to interrupt, I want you guys to pick up on what he said. He's part of a mastermind. Like, I don't think Lewis has dived too much into the mastermind that he's in. But he's part of a mastermind, which in itself requires a lot of, commitment to show up every day on the accountability call. So he's active a lot of the time, but his reach has been extra active this week.
Extra active because of different time zones. I'm flying. I'm even dropping yawns, blood. I'm even dropping yawns, fam. You get what I'm saying? So it's all mad. But anyway, the second A is analytical, and analytical comes from that reference to the mastermind, actually. So as I was mentioning to you earlier, thinking about what I'm getting from this mastermind, even though I can't always make every single call live because of the fact that, for context, the mastermind is run by a company based in the States. So I'm 5 hours ahead from whenever they do anything, because they do everything on Eastern Standard Time. So even their daily accountability call, which is at 6 a.m. their time, which, you know, would be good if it was 6 a.m. my time, but it's not. It's 11 a.m. It's in the middle of my day. I've got things to do. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, might have meetings, might have delivery happening, whatever it is. So I can't always make it, but I try my best to whenever I have got that time available. You know, the Monday sessions are in the evening at 7 p.m. their time. That's midnight our time. I could go to sleep, get up and then go on that, but I'm not doing that personally because I value having sleep that's not broken. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'll watch the recording. Stuff like that means that I haven't necessarily been able to show up per se in the same way that one might desire to, or that other people are currently doing in a program that, by the way, a lot of money is being invested in. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, significant amount. We're talking a salary here. Do you get what I'm saying? So you could argue that, right, you don't want to miss anything. But my being analytical has said, as much as that would be amazing, given that that's probably not going to be my reality, how do I analyze the kind of person I am, what I want this to be able to do for my endeavors, i.e. my businesses, my relationship, my desire to just grow as a person, my endeavor to go about being able to contribute to the betterment of the world. Given that I want it to be able to better me, better my endeavors, and better the people around me, as opposed to crying over whether I can make everything live, how do I analyze the way I am and where I'm at and what I'm doing, and make sure I'm drawing out the key things that I can apply? And that's only going to come through being analytical. That's only going to come through doing self-assessment, through doing social assessment, through doing business assessment, through doing relationship assessment. Assessing those things, analyzing those life areas is what's going to allow me to say, I can still get the most out of this, even though I might not be able to make every single session live and in person. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's why analytical. And then third point was aspiring. And I think aspiring was more, again, linked to the mastermind, but also linked to just like being able to just like, you know, I left on Friday. Prior to Sunday before, I was doing this trip on my own. Like, my fiance decided on Sunday, I'm gonna come. So
that left you, what, a week?
That left me 5 days, innit? 5 days. Work it all out. So I had to literally book their flights on the Monday. I had to sort out a hotel for, well, to be fair, my hotel in Atlanta was already fine. They could just come with me on that. But I didn't sort out our hotel for Boston until the night before we flew. Do you get what I'm saying? Then you got to sort out like food on the plane, trying to get seating because we've got an infant with us, and you know, and then obviously it comes with an expense. Like they're booking 5 days before, it costs a lot more than when it was just me going. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's, even that, just being in a position to be able to afford that, I was grateful for that. Like I had that money there. Do you get what I'm saying? But aspiring doesn't necessarily relate to that, because that is stuff that's more related to gratitude. Aspiring is more like, I now aspire to continue to be in a position where I can do that, but also I aspire to have my own tribe of people that are committed to going in a particular direction in the same way that Eric Thomas has. Like these people in this mastermind are so committed to that community, and it's so inspiring and led me to aspire to have that level of leadership. Like even my good friend Lisa, who you know, who's part of the mastermind, she was like, someone else was saying something about, like these people in the mastermind are really committed to like ET and his message and what he says we should be doing, and you know, even just like keeping up with making sure that they pay for everything on time and whatever. She's like, well, that's what happens when you lead with integrity.
It's true. Because
he leads with so much integrity,
they have no choice but to follow.
That's it. And so that was very aspiring. Not that I haven't got integrity, but it's like, how do I continue to let my integrity shine through so that what I believe could be brought into the world and genuinely is of value, people are willing to get behind. Do you know what I'm saying? In the same way that I would get behind others who also did the same. They don't have to be this world-renowned person like Eric Thomas is. They could be someone that very few people know. As long as I believe they operate with integrity and I've got things that I want to get behind, I'll happily get behind it as well. So yeah, that's why I say aspiring.
That's crazy, you know, because I think a lot of like what you're saying in your second point, you said analytical. Like a lot of people in this day and age, they don't know how to think. You think you're thinking, but you actually don't know how to think.
Break it down. Why'd you say that?
For example, like a lot of people settle in a situation that they're not comfortable in because it's like, okay, I think I'm doing the right thing. Like I'm just gonna put this in a scenario. Let's say you're an entrepreneur, you have a 9-to-5 job, but you really wanna transition into only being an entrepreneur. Like there are ways that you can make that happen, but I feel like a lot of people don't think enough about the situation to be able to transition. Okay, what needs to happen? What am I doing now that's not allowing me to transition into said lifestyle? This is rounded off basically. But even you, like you had to make decisions for your fiance and for your daughter, decisions that, you know, you might have said, okay, it's 5 days now, you lot can't come, do you know what I mean? But you made the decision to
make it work
basically.
Yeah, literally.
But also you're surrounded by a group of people that know how to make that work. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that's what a lot of people are lacking. A lot of people are lacking a community that are in those positions, because I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of things I didn't think were possible until I just saw someone do it, and then it's like, oh, it's that easy. Oh really, all I have to do is this. Oh, there's not some rules, trials and tribulations that I have to go through. No. Some people are just doing it, and you need to get around the people that are doing it and also learn how to think for yourself. So yeah,
100%. Nah, man, it's true. People, I think there's a long way to go in terms of people being able to think effectively. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think we live in a time where so many of the things we are encouraged to do, things we're encouraged to use, etc., almost suggest that we're going to have ourselves thought for as opposed to thinking for ourselves. So yeah, fully with that. Cool. So let's go into
decision of the day.
Right, Ria, decision of the day.
I really need weed. I'm sorry.
Go. Don't tell me big. Oh no, he didn't lock himself up. Cool, Ria, today's scenario I should say, and what decision will you choose to take? You with your partner, been together for, let's say 2 years. Yeah? Things are going great. You feel like things are moving in the right direction. You feel like this could really be long term. You feel like, you know, this person is someone that you feel you genuinely can build with. You have been kind of holding on like a part-time gig, part-time situation, part-time job, but really your focus has been on building your business. No specific industry or sector, but you've been looking to build this business. It is a locally based business though. It requires you to physically be in a particular territory, i.e. the place you live now, whether it be London or the UK at the very minimum. Your partner, on the other hand, has been absolutely smashing it in their career. Like, they're moving. For argument's sake, they're in real estate. They're moving, they're doing their thing, they are driving themselves forward. They get offered an opportunity to go and work abroad. Could be Dubai, could be the States, could be somewhere on the continent such as Africa, somewhere in Europe. They say to you, I really want you to come with me. I really want you to come with me and be out there with me. I know you're working on the business, but I'm sure you could pick up a part-time gig over there if you want to and still try and work on it. But the business is starting to move now though. It's at that point, it's just catching fire. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Your business is starting to catch fire. Like, you're not doing a mad thing yet, but you can see that you're on a trajectory now. But they're like, I want this to work. Like, come with me.
So with the thing I'm doing, you're saying I need to be there physically for it to happen.
At the moment you do.
At the moment I do, but is it something that I could potentially pick up and start somewhere else though?
Maybe, but then you just lose out on what you've built so far, right? To some extent. But it's your world, isn't it? It's your world. Like, maybe, well, let's break down. Why would you consider doing it somewhere else?
Because I personally think, unless it's something that is like, alright, I physically have a shop, or I physically have like a piece of land that I need to monitor every day, I feel like you can pick up and start somewhere else. If it's like, let's say it's a remote business or whatever, but you're saying it's something you need to actually.
But what if you was like being asked to run a version of Sprint to Success for companies across the country, like, or for organizations across the country? That's not a physical location, but it's physical delivery.
Do you know what? This is a hard one. I'll be real, this is a hard one, because personally for me, moving abroad has always been something I wanted to do. But when you bring in the context of, you know, like your partner's in it now, that can affect your relationship if you're in two different spaces.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want my business to suffer. If I've been putting in a lot of time, effort, energy, I don't want my business to suffer. But also, it depends what you value. If you really value your business enough, your livelihood enough that you want to stay in one place in order to make it work, I feel like I would do so. But just know what my morals and principles are, is that I don't want to be restricted by time and location freedom. I feel like for now, because we are running a version of Sprint Success which does require you to be there in person, in that scenario, I might just have to say, you know what, I might have to join you out there at a later date. That's a bit of a, that could affect our relationship though, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a tough
but
one.
Also, being the type of person I am, if I was really, really serious about the decision, like I was saying before, I would have to really think long and hard about how can I turn my business model to something remote? How can I turn it into something that gives me time and location freedom? But yeah, that's a hard one.
It's a hard one because of everything you just said. Like, every single consideration is there, and on top of that, it's like, okay, so let's think about some potential solutions. You could say, I'm just going to hire people to do the thing that I would normally do in the business and let them deliver, for example. Will it be the same quality? Do you think you'll have time to train them in the way that you want to train them? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, is the reason the business is starting to take off because of the fact that it's you more than just your methodology?
Yeah, so I want to relate this back to Lewis, because like Lewis said, Lewis was in Boston this morning, and he came back to deliver a session that only really he could deliver. Like, technically he could have given me the content and I could have delivered it, but I know I wouldn't have been able to deliver it like him. And not a lot of people, credit to Lewis, is he's a very unique speaker, he has a very unique energy. So I don't know if there's certain things you can't just outsource certain things.
That's the thing. Like, I'm a believer that you can start to put people in your place when you've done the due diligence to develop and nurture them. Like, Revolution Hive is a great example of this, because there is no content in Revolution Hive really that I don't think the team could deliver, because the style is different, how it needs to be delivered is different. The team also, I've invested in everybody a lot in the last 4 years. Like, I've done multiple training days, and everyone's growth as a result has been accelerated to the point where now there's a level of comfort just giving that to the team and making them run with it. The reason this scenario is so hard is because on one hand you could say, well, could you not get someone to deliver what you normally do in your business? Maybe not. The other reason it's hard is because you could argue, well, is there not a market for what you currently do in your business in the new place that you'd be going to? So could you not find a market for it there? But then maybe you could, but then you are having to deal with, like, is there a language barrier? Is there a cultural barrier? Will you get the respect? Do you have contacts, etc.? So you're going to have to do a lot of that work again. Similarly, like, do you feel that your partner is actually gonna, like, take the opportunity abroad seriously? I mean, they should in theory, given how hard they've been working up to this point, but you just don't want them to go over there and then start just, like, getting excited by the fact they're abroad and not still keeping their head down, and then suddenly it's like, I regret what I did here. So
I also think when you make a decision like that, it's not a decision you take lightheartedly. Like, you're uprooting your whole life, not necessarily just for your partner. You may want to do it as well, but think about, like, you guys are in a different environment, different space.
This is it.
Like, you're not only adjusting to a move, you're adjusting to you and your partner's dynamic in a whole different space and a whole different, community. Like, what does that look like for you? So I feel like there's a lot of due diligence and planning that you would have to do beforehand to really set yourself up for a decision like that, to be honest.
100%. I ain't even gonna add any more to that. So listen, that was decision of the day.
What would you do? Let us know in the comments, please.
Trust me. So Ria, what is today's scenario and/or talking point for the outcome?
So, a lot of you may know the brand Nala's Baby, which was founded by Krept and Sasha, who have a daughter called Nala. Krept and Sasha, I'm not sure why they split up, but they split up maybe a year or two ago, and they co-parent very well from what I can see from their Instagram, from their Snapchat or whatever. But they've recently expanded their business Nala's Baby, which Nala's Baby was really big. It was going to a lot of stores nationally, Boots, and now they've recently expanded to places like Morrison's, Tesco's, which are going to be launching in the coming weeks. But I've seen in a podcast, I don't know if it was a video or a podcast that Krept did recently, but he was just really proud of himself for co-parenting and managed to turning something that was literally just an idea in lockdown into a multi-million pound business, business. Because he's picked up on an idea that's not only going to serve as a legacy for his child, but also potentially a legacy for him and his, the mother of his child. But for me, the decision is that, considering the fact that they split up, how do they still work together so well? How do they still maintain a level of cohesion and lovingness so that their daughter can thrive in that? And that's not true for a lot of people in this day and age.
No, a lot of people, you're right. I mean, you're so right with this. A lot of people are so quick to be like, forget my ex because of da-da-da-da-da, or you know what, like, can't stand my ex because of da-da-da-da-da, or like, he's a waste man, she's a waste gal, da-da-da-da-da. Like, as opposed to saying, do you know what, we're both adults, we both have flaws, didn't work out, I'm not going to try and force it, but let's stay amicable, especially given we have a child. I get the vibe they would have been amicable regardless, but especially given they have a child. And you're right, like, to think that you're able to nurture your child that well, but then also give them the inspiration to go and be at certain events. Like, I'm sure I'm sure it was Krept, but I'm sure I heard something about, like, Nala actually participates in certain board meetings and all these kinds of things. That, do you get what I'm saying? Like, just trying to make her really exposed to the business, you get what I'm saying? But anyway, like, it's powerful regardless, do you get what I mean? Because we talk about creating generational wealth, but that is it. Do you get what I mean? And it's funny because I remember, when did Nala's Baby launch? It's probably a bit more than a year ago now.
A bit more, like, it was probably September of 2022.
When did maybe 2022, you're right, yeah. Because I was trying to remember when they released That Way with Abracadabra, because he references it in the tune. He's like, you ain't got more money than Nala. And that was obviously on That Way, and I feel like that was probably late 2022 as well, yeah. Anyway, long story short, the reason I bring it up is because not long before that, let's say within a year before of the release of Nala's Baby, there was a Twitter conversation going on where Sasha talked about the school fees for her daughter, saying something like, I think the context might have been, it's a bit mad how you still have to pay nursery fees. Sorry, not school, nursery fees, even when Nala don't go to nursery or whatever. And people were like, why is she complaining about this? Her baby's father's a millionaire. At the end of the day, she shouldn't have to do anything. He's Muslim as well, so he should be covering all of her bills and da-da-da-da-da. And then and it's mad that she herself turned around and said, not gonna lie, none of you have a right to be talking like this because you don't know what Krept's doing for me. Like, I'm already a 6-figure earner and I'm about to be 7 figures and you don't even know why. Boom, less than a year later, Nala's Baby drops. I thought, that is so cold. The fact that she was just like, you lot loud talking like that, the father of my child's doing more stuff for our family than you even know. Bang. Do you get what I'm saying? That's having respect for your former partner. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's mad. Do you get what I'm saying? So,
and I think the decision behind it is that they didn't just launch a brand just to launch it. Krept himself said that when Sasha was pregnant, she wanted to just use 0 harmful products on her skin, and she kept using an app. I can't remember what the app is called, but she just decided there's no non-harmful products out here, so I'm going to create my own. One, that just shows your initiative to look for a gap in the market. 2, you're showing, like, even though, like you just said, Sasha already had her own money, Krept already had his own money from the rap game, from his rap career, but they decided they're not just going to use the money that they have to give to their daughter. They're going to give their daughter her own legacy, expose her to, things that can build up generational wealth from when she's a child. So when she grows up, she's gonna know how all of that infrastructure happened, because she's literally the face of the brand.
100%.
So personally, I just think
huge.
Commend to them.
I commend them massively. Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that one up actually.